Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with all the resources you need to become a successful author. You can learn more about Authors Unite and join the free community at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today I have Rodrigue Fouafou with us. He is an entrepreneur, a speaker, and a startup investor in Africa. So welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tyler.
Of course, man. Grateful to have you on. Really excited for this one. We'll jump into the first question. The first question I have for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
The best story of my life regarding what you asked is that I grew up into a small village in Africa, coming from a big family. My dad used to have my dad had 6 wives with 33 children. So grew up in a big family and grew up in a farm in Africa. Really set up a ground base of me being more social. My social life nowadays has the roots from my childhood, and also the ability to create the ability to risk, and my ability to say, you know what, everything's possible, and so on.
And what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
I would say to let the people know that Africa is rising. Africa is the continent nowadays where you can do some real legit business and good return compared to what people have thought in the past. So to see Africa as a continent of bad thing going on and so on. Africa is now a continent where there's some real business opportunity for an investor, for a Western investor.
Got it. That's really good to know. And so actually, my next question is normally like, what's your best piece of overall business advice? But what I'd like to ask is, can you give us a couple examples, or just one example of an investment, a startup that you're invested in Africa that you really believe in?
Excellent. Good question. Tyler, in 2012, roughly 6 years ago, we were one of the early investors for the first French-made African video game. Back then, we invested roughly 5K. And the game came out in 2016, and Forbes featured last year, and CNN as well featured last year too. And Hollywood are in top of them to make a movie next year. That's the idea. Go out there in Africa, identify those young, passionate African people, smart, and support them financially, but also mentor them, show them the best way to run a business, and so on. Then expose the world, show the world that, you know what, Africa can inspire. The world can learn from Africa too as well. And we own now the 7% of that venture. And there's a private equity firm in London who's investing 500,000 euro next month. So that's the idea. Go in Africa, identify the young passionate people, and expose to the world, and say, you know what, you guys can invest in Africa. Things are happening, and it's here.
Dude, that is awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. So another question is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
I would say, Rodrigue 10 to 15 years ago would be to learn as much as you can by expose and do pretty much everything, because we didn't know where to go or what to do. It seems that I didn't know what was my why. Learn as much as you can. Surround yourself with people that will lift you up, and so on, and try everything. That's how you're going to grab different knowledge and so on. That will help you to really nail down your why in the future.
And in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
The happiness, it's a complex subject, though. So, but for me, I define happiness the way to be who you are, and the authenticity that you are, and the fact that who you are without changing or without, live based on society norm or based on society pressure and so on. Really live a life where that you belong to, that you feel connected to, that in line with your life purpose.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
Yeah, good question though. And there's a quote that I learned I think 5 years ago from one of my famous author, Simon Sinek. He was quoting Nelson Mandela. One of the Nelson Mandela quote was, "To go fast, go by yourself, and to go further, you have to go together." Basically, so basically, say that if you want to by yourself, you can go fast, be by yourself. But being together, being in a group, and so you can go far.
Yes,
that's really stuck with me too. I can see that nowadays. Even this is my third company that I'm running. My first one, again, those are the lessons I learned from that. So by being together, by surrounding yourself with people who have the same vision that you have, eventually everything is possible. Everything is possible, and also think about long-term gain. And so not short-term. So if you want to think further about 20 years, 10 years from now on, and surround yourself with a group of solid people who align with your vision, everything's possible, and you will go further.
Yes, man. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. Very insightful episode. The last question I have for you before we let you go is, where's the best place for people to find you online?
Yeah, the best way to find me online is not through my name, Rodrigue Fouafou, which is too long, African name, so it's not easy to remember. But the only one expression that you can find me online is through Africa Connect, with S at the end, Africa Connect. If you type Africa Connect on all social networks, you will find me.
Perfect, man. Thanks again for hopping on.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.